Kellyanne Conway is back, and she is making the rounds again, this time going on the record, get it, with host Mike Kelly. Now, during this very interesting interview, she was asked about some of the bullshit wiretapping allegations leveled against former President Obama, and she actually had this to say about it. Let's take a look.
Let me ask you about one of the things that seems to be dogging him, at least this past week, is the wiretaps. The allegation that Trump Tower was wiretapped. What can you say about that? Do you know whether Trump Tower was wiretapped?
What I can say is there are many ways to surveil each other now, unfortunately.
Do you believe
there was an article this week that talked about how you can surveil someone through their phones, through their certainly through their television sets, any number of different ways, and microwaves that turn into cameras, etc. So we know that is just a fact of modern life.
Whoa. Okay, wait a minute. Look, microwaves? I mean, yes, phones, smart TVs, tablets, of course, right? But microwaves that turn into cameras? That is a new one. Have you ever heard of that, Ron? Has your microwave ever spied on you?
I you know what, man, if they can spy on me via my microwave, that is the worst news of all, because I have some dietary habits, especially when pot is involved, that I'm not proud of. And if they saw some of the shit that I put in a microwave, oh boy. Oh boy. They'll be like, Do you think you're still in college? You're an idiot. That's what the government would learn. They're like, oh, okay. So, here's a fun tip for everybody at home. If you ever go to the grocery store and you think this is like a fancier version of ramen, it's not. It's still shitty. It's the same stuff, just packaged differently. And unless you're 22 or younger, don't put that shit in your body. All right, it's just bad.
I would always make the joke.
I may be speaking from experience recently.
No, I'm speaking from experience. When I say, like, you remember the ramen noodle cups? Like, the cup itself has as much nutritional value as what was inside of it. I can almost guarantee.
Well, I remember a cousin of mine does, like, a lot of humanity work. And she does a lot of, like, food collections and stuff like that.
Right.
And she actually said they would get a ton of that stuff donated. And in some ways it makes sense because it is edible and there's a lot, you can get a lot for pretty much no money.
Sure.
But she said they eventually had to ban it because, like, they just made the judgment where they were like, this isn't food. Like they just decided, like, technically this isn't food. Which it is. I mean, it is. I mean, I don't know.
Okay,
it depends on how
if you get
terms.
If you actually get, like, the actual ramen that they have in Japan,
well, yeah,
that's different. That is actual food. But of
course,
what they sell in the grocery store,
believe me. But
yeah. When it's in Walmart in the giant packages for 52 cents, for like 20 of them, that's not
what
food.
We're talking. Yeah,
that's not
what
food.
We're talking.
So authentic ramen, fantastic. But
course.
This stuff, no, not real food. But no, again, what does this have to do with the microwave?
Or what does this have to do? And it sees all the bad decisions we make.
It does. But what is any of this? The fact that, yes, the Kellyanne Conway thinks your microwave can spy on you. What does it have to do with the allegations that a sitting president illegally wiretapped a presidential candidate? Look, we know that they have the capability of doing so, right? The only thing that's missing here is something called proof. Do you know who could access that proof? The President of the United States. Just saying. He could look into this. He could go to the FISA court and he could access this and see whether or not they actually did tap his phone lines at Trump Tower. See, he's got access to that information because he's the most He's the most powerful person in the United States, the president.
Yeah.
He can look into it.
Kellyanne could just determine it an alternative fact, and then it's legit, right?
Yeah. It could be, yeah. Look, on a serious note, though, we know that the NSA, thanks to WikiLeaks, spies on Americans. And we know also, thanks to WikiLeaks, that the CIA certainly has the ability to spy on Americans. Now, look, do you think that they would go after regular people? Like, no. Not normally, no. Activists? Absolutely. Political figures? Absolutely. Right? So I guess there's a possibility. But what we need proof. Now, do you think that they go after the rich and powerful with as much vigor as they do with just regular activists that's making a lot of noise? I don't think they would go after the rich and powerful. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Of course not. I mean, yeah, of course not. They wouldn't go after the rich and powerful.
Look, who's a tool for the rich and powerful? Donald Trump. Just saying. And so these allegations, unless they turn up some sort of proof and evidence, is to me nothing more than a distraction. So now let's have some more fun with Kellyanne. Your microwave can spy on you, and that is just a fact of life. Really? That's fascinating. Now, are you saying that then we should accept devices that spy on us, even though her example of a spicrowave, that's what I call it, spicrowave, is hilarious? Her point is essentially everything can spy on you. So what can you do? Well, that's shitty. How about you make it so that they can't spy on you? Rein in the NSA, rein in the CIA. Now, my guess is Donald Trump is not actually interested in curtailing these programs whatsoever. I mean, that doesn't fit Trump's MO. Do you honestly think he'd be like, we need to protect the privacy of all everyday Americans, even my enemies? No. He's going to look at it and say, wow, I can spy on people? Where do I start? Hey, I wonder what Arnold Schwarzenegger's doing right now. Loser. That's not Donald Trump, okay? You don't think that putting a child in charge of these sophisticated programs would lead to anything good? No. This is why it was such a disaster. President Obama set up this surveillance state, and with the help, actually it was George W. Bush. Obama helped it along. So no, I'm not going to blame Obama for everything. George W. Bush actually set this up a lot. But he expanded
everybody's favorite person, by the way. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jeff, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
No,
I
you're
had
right,
to,
though.
You
You're right,
said
though.
his name, and it's just everybody's favorite guy now, George W. Bush.
I know.
Have you been noticing that?
I have been noticing that, and it's frustrating as hell. This guy
It's
who
incredible.
started
He's
two
a
wars.
war criminal.
He's a war criminal, started 2 wars, blew up the deficit, crashed the fucking economy, and Joey Behar is sitting on the View saying, he is my new favorite person.
Yes, I saw that, and we're doing that. Which, by the way, The View is like if a pumpkin spice latte became a person and hosted a talk show. That's what The View is.
No, those are still delicious, right?
That does sound delicious, but like that's what that show is, and it's like, how are you like? People are saying like, oh, you're sticking it to Trump by saying, well, even George Bush is like, no, you're not. You're saying to Trump, hey,
You're
check
normalizing.
it out. You can throw the economy in the gutter, you can gut in the environment, and you can become a total war criminal and lead us into an endless war based on lies. And in a couple years, all will be forgotten. Just start a paint-by-numbers career. That's sending a very wrong message to Trump. That's sending the message like, hey, I guess this shit doesn't really matter. My brands will rebound in a few years. That's what it's sending. George W. Bush is a war criminal. Let's skip the photo ops, okay? Okay, Joy? Okay, Ellen?
Yeah.
Skip the fucking photo ops. He's still a prick. He's still a warmonger. He should be in jail.
Yeah, and they're normalizing horrible people to, I don't know, make Trump look like a horrible person. That doesn't make any sense
No,
to me. It's a nonsensical strategy. No, as you said, George W. Bush, still a war criminal, still did warrantless wiretaps while in the White House. And during that time, do you remember the story came out 2008 where the what is it, the NSA or whatever, one of our spy agencies, one of our illustrious spy agencies, by the way, was spying in on our soldiers over in Iraq and Afghanistan having phone sex. Come on, man. Your microwave can't spy on you, but there are other things that can and that have been used. And you can thank George W. Bush and, by extension, Barack Obama for continuing those programs and those policies. You know?
But just to play it safe, if you're gonna have phone sex, don't do it near a microwave. Or
a
no. Even if it can't spy on you, that's still dangerous.
And make sure not to have it on too, because if you sit in front of a microwave for probably 10 years at a time while it's on, you might get cancer.
Yeah.
So
be wary.
Don't do that either. Okay. So, look, there is an issue with the story and there is a non-issue with the story. Yes, the NSA is spying on us. They're collecting our metadata. We know that. The CIA could also, with these tools, do the same thing. In fact, they could take control of your car and crash it into a tree. I mean, that's super, super scary. right? They also didn't tell the tech companies that they found these exploits like they were supposed to, right? Oh, by the way, we're writing into this law that allows you to spy in on people that you just have to make sure to let these companies know that there's an exploit in that you found an exploit in their software that can allow you to go and take over these pieces of these gadgets, these smartphones, these smart TVs, whatever. But you got to tell us so we can fix them. Well, you think they're going to tell them? No, and they didn't tell them, and that's what this document dump had shown. So look, and they did that either to spy in on us because they might be, we don't know, or at least to keep the option of spying on us. And this is the CIA again. We already know the NSA. The non-issue here is, of course, Trump's bullshit claims that he was wiretapped. You should put up some proof or shut the fuck up. And as far as Kellyanne Conway is concerned, your microwave can't spy on you. That's ridiculous. You can also shut up. Your choice. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.